Hi, welcome to Jackpots and Hotspots, Las Vegas travel tips and news video podcast. Whether you're planning a trip or just missing it there, this is a place for us to talk about all things Vegas. Let's talk about attractions, what's going on and things to do and see and experience in Vegas. So there will be a magic museum opening on the Strip in spring of 2023. There's a company called the Museum of Illusions, I think, that goes around the country, or they have locations around the country. And so in Vegas-y style, right? Magic, Vegas Strip, perfect spot. This is super exciting to see that there will be a Museum of Magic opening up. Those of you that are magic enthusiasts, maybe you know a little bit more about this. Let us know in the comments if you kind of know any more or what your thoughts are as far as this, because I think it sounds super cool. So I'm really excited because I love magic shows, and I'm really excited to see more kind of, more museum type places open up that really support the industry. This magic museum will be a little over 15,000 square feet. I don't really know how big that is, but that sounds kind of big, so it sounds kind of cool. Anyway, again, if you know any more, drop something in the comments. Let us know what you think about that. But any kind of museum that supports any kind of Vegas attraction, to me, sounds really great. So I think that's a really cool addition to the Strip that we can all look forward to in the spring of 2023. In other Vegas news, most of us have seen that they're building that big old sphere, right? So it's the Madison Square Garden, or MSG Sphere, I think is what they're calling it now. I've seen it kind of in mid-construction, so I think they're continuing to work on that. Again, if any of you know, please feel free to chime in the comments what you know about it. But I think any of us who have gone in the last year have seen it being built. It's near the Venetian, should be really, really cool. I have to look at my notes for this one. But so what they're doing there is, obviously we know they're building it, but what they did recently that it was kind of newsworthy was that they actually sent a high resolution camera into space to the space station to get some high resolution pictures for the sphere. So they're really targeting the fact that it is high res, giant LED displays, all that jazz. So they really want to test the bounds of technology in space, as well as the display technology they have here on Earth in the sphere. So that sounds pretty cool. It's supposed to open the second half of 2023. And so again, what I understand that they're doing is they're testing equipment to get high resolution images and video for the sphere. So they're testing it in space so they can create like these immersive experiences. Some of the cool stuff about this sphere and why they're so kind of making it such a big deal are that it's supposed to be the largest spherical structure in the world, which is pretty cool. I don't really know many spherical structures, but I don't really go many other places than Vegas either. So I don't know, but it's going to be the largest one in the world. It's going to have this exterior exosphere with a 580,000 foot LED display, which should be the largest LED screen in the world. Again, I don't know, 580,000 feet, what is that? Like the size of like LED display? I don't know if that's like square feet. I don't know, but that sounds really big. So if any of you are smart enough to know how big that is, let us know in the comments maybe what that's comparable to, because it's supposed to be ginormous. Inside, we'll have the world's largest LED screen, which is 160,000 square feet. Well, that sounds really big too. And we'll go like, kind of like a Cosmosphere type thing, right? It'll go up, over, and behind the audience. That's pretty cool. And then it's going to have over 17,000 seats. I think the capacity, though, to hold like number of people is about 20,000. So it's going to hold a lot of people, a lot of things. It costs $1.9 billion. And they're going to have things like, obviously, original attractions, like high resolution images, experiences, things like that, concerts, gaming events, sports events, all kinds of things. So it's very exciting. Again, I don't really know how a lot of people feel about the buzz about this. There's always like positive and negative buzz about things going on, but it sounds like it's supposed to be a really big deal. It's Madison Square Garden company, right, that is doing this. So they are a leader in events and attractions and showcasing things, so I have a feeling it'll be pretty cool. And like most things Vegas, at least here at Jackpots and Hotspots, we really tend to embrace these things with happiness and enthusiasm. So hopefully it'll be just as cool as it sounds, and it'll offer us a lot of cool things to do in Vegas. In resorts and casinos news, Caesars says now that it will not be selling a strip resort. With it, if any of you have been following the news on the casino and resort side, hotel, casino, resort, you kind of know that Caesars has been talking about selling one. So I am very relieved to know that they're not, because the buzz was that it was like Flamingo or Planet Hollywood, which I still haven't stayed at Flamingo yet, and Planet Hollywood is one of my faves. And so I am really relieved to hear that now they're not looking at selling one, because I didn't really want to lose any of those properties, because I haven't stayed everywhere yet, and some of them I just love so much. So you know, and with those sales, obviously, you know, there's a lot of speculation on how that's going to go down, what's going to happen, is it going to change brands, or is it just going to stay the same, and maybe they're going to lease it back. So it wouldn't necessarily be the end of anything if they did sell one, but it's just nice to know that nothing's changing right now, and the things we know and love are still going to be there. So that is positive news. You can breathe a sigh of relief and know that they're not selling anything right now, so it's really nothing to worry about. If you follow Vegas news, you are aware that Mirage has been sold from MGM Resorts to Hard Rock, and that they're getting ready to take over. So the big buzz about that lately was that they were going to tear down the volcano, and like soon. Now it appears that they won't be tearing it down, or at least there are no immediate plans to stop the volcano shows, tear it down. So if you still want to see it, or you still need to take somebody to go see that volcano, I know we are taking our son to go see it, so we want to make sure he sees it before it's torn down. But now hopefully there's not as much of a rush. Now Hard Rock is set to take over by the end of the year, so we are getting pretty close to that. Now a lot of things are not going to change right away, obviously. I mean, a transition does take time, but it will no longer be an MGM Resorts property. It will be a Hard Rock property. So I don't know, sometimes change could be good. Mirage is pretty old. You know, the Mirage has been around for quite a while, so maybe it will be a good thing that it gets kind of a refresh. Personally, I hope they remodel the rooms. So it did sell to Hard Rock, and they will be taking over by the end of the year. At least that's what the latest is on that. There is a FAQ page on their website, on the Mirage website. So if you have questions about rewards points, things like that, how it's going to impact existing reservations, I'd encourage you to go to the Mirage MGM Resorts site and go to the FAQ page. There's actually a thing that pops up at the top that says if you have questions or you're wondering about the sale or whatever it is, you can just click on that little pop-up at the top of the screen and get to the FAQ page. So that should be really handy if you want to learn more, or just you have concerns about your own reservations coming up. Another hotel resort news item is that President Biden has vowed to take on resort fees. This definitely impacts all the resorts that we love to stay at in Vegas. No idea what that would look like. No idea how that would really work. Wouldn't bank on that for sure. So interesting thing to tackle. Interesting news item. Cool that he wants to take it on. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm also a big supporter of the hospitality industry, and I just don't know from the hospitality side what the impact of removing those resort fees would be. I think it could hinder some things and maybe help some other things. I don't really know. I'm not too opinionated on that. I think it's a really interesting thing to try to get rid of. So I wouldn't bank on it if I were you, but who knows? So interesting little tidbit going on right now. In food and beverage news, Gordon Ramsay opened his 6th restaurant on the Strip called Ramsay's Kitchen. It's at Harrah's, Las Vegas. So definitely worth checking out. It sounds like he's putting as much effort and thought into this one as he would as if it were his first one opening. So I think he does treat it with respect. He takes it seriously. He cherishes these opportunities. And I think it's definitely one of those celebrity chefs who is worth supporting and worth exploring what he has to offer. So pretty cool new food and beverage option, and over at Harrah's. So that's fun. And the news of performances coming up. Keith Urban has a residency now planned at Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood for March 2023. I think it's March through July. He has 16 dates. So that's kind of cool if you're a Keith Urban fan. Just want something fun to go to. I will be at the residency at the Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood, which is one of my favorite venues. So always a fan of events there. Let's talk about what's going on in Las Vegas this weekend. There are so many things going on all the time that I just love seeing what's going on every weekend and every week and every weekend in Vegas, just to know kind of what's out there. Post Malone performed last night at T-Mobile Arena. We've got the Las Vegas Pizza Festival, Billy Idol's at the Chelsea at the Cosmopolitan. There's ice skating at the Cosmopolitan, which is a seasonal thing, which I cannot wait to go check it out. We are going to Vegas later this month. It's November 2022 for reference. And we are super excited to check out the ice skating rink if we make it there. As you know, you don't always make it everywhere you plan. But we are super excited that they're doing the ice skating again this year at the Cosmo. And it sounds like they've got some really cool stuff. They've got fire pits with s'mores. You can reserve space for that. They've got a little grill that overlooks the ice rink. And at certain times, I think it's like in the evenings mainly, every 30 minutes, they have snow. I don't know, but it sounds amazing. There's just like so many things. If you go to their website and just check it out, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to do it all. It sounds really cool. So that's a lot of fun. All the details and specifics are on the website, obviously. There is a rodeo going on this weekend. There is food truck wine walk at Tivoli Village, which I have never been to. Don't even know if I said that right, but that's one of the places that I really, really want to go check out. But there's a food truck wine walk, which sounds kind of cool. They've got like wine tasting stations, food pairings, things like that. So that sounds really fun. Jonas Brothers at Park MGM. Daniel Tosh will be at the Mirage, and George Lopez will be performing at the Luxor. So that's just a sampling of what's going on this weekend alone in Vegas. So I just love that there's always something fun to do. There should be something for everyone. If you know anything about us here at Jackpots and Hotspots and our love of Vegas, is that if you're with the right people, if you know what you're doing, there's something for everyone. Whether you drink, gamble, don't drink, don't gamble, kids, adults, everybody in between, there's usually something you can do. So if you want some more tips, news updates about Vegas, trying to figure out what to do for the people in your group or for yourself who just wants to go check it out, follow us, subscribe for more podcast videos, more news and updates. On a final note, I thought it'd be fun to end the podcast on an interesting note. In the news this week, Resorts World was robbed. Not really a fun news item. However, apparently it happened Wednesday, like 2 a.m. this week, and the guy arrived in a cab, took a note, and handed a note to the cashier at the casino cage. They gave him a bag of money, and he left in the cab. I don't have any more details than that, but leave a comment if you know the rest of the story. When I last read about this, they hadn't released much more info than that, so I thought that was really interesting. And in my personal opinion, robbing a cash cage and just getting a bag of money, not worth it. Definitely not worth it. I don't know what the penalty is going to be if and when they catch this guy, but I don't think it would be worth it. I don't know about you guys though. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today. Super happy to have you here. Please leave a comment. Tell us what you want to hear about, what news maybe we didn't cover that you think is worth noting. This is our space, guys. This is our space to talk about Vegas. Whether you're planning a trip, whether you just love it and miss it and want to hear about it and talk about it, this is our space. So join us here, like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Bye.